Welcome back to Unofficial Engineering. I'm your host, Troy Perry, the host with the most, and I got a couple stories for you today, and let's just go ahead and jump right into it. Cue the theme song. Oh, what's that? I don't have a theme song yet? Okay, that's fine. Cue the sponsor. This episode of the Unofficial Engineering Podcast is brought to you by Troy, because he's poor. But I guess one last little piece of thing, or like the pre-creds. So I tried to record in episode 1. I released it to the public, and I had to redact it because it wasn't really family friendly. And I expect families to sit by the radio and listen to this constantly. Like, it's the 1940s. FDR is talking his fireside chats. Just we're listening to some rock and roll. What's this? No, I don't even know. Was that that was the... Dude, I don't know. I wasn't born yet. What do you want from me? I'm not going to build you a time machine, even though this would probably be the podcast where we could discuss. No, I'm kidding. But it would be, but no. Okay, not today, Satan. Maybe tomorrow. I ain't gonna lie, y'all. My mom said that I should keep doing the podcast. So, I'm going to do just that. So today's topic, let's see, I totally just had it. Okay, yeah. It's my funniest stories that I got. And I've tried to relay these a couple of times. I don't even know if I'm, in the best frame of mind to be speaking, but I at least now know that I need to be more linear in my approach. I had been kind of all over the place in my previous attempt to record the first half of this, but y'all don't care about that. So, let me just pull up the setting. The setting in my mind is now pulled up. The year is 2015. I want to say it was October. It felt like fall. And it might be because of the incident that I got molested. No, I'm kidding. I don't think that would be as exciting as what actually happened. But I'll let y'all be the judge of that. So, I'm with my old roommate, Jeremy, right? And we have been sharing an apartment together for a little bit. We had to leave to go back to our hometowns because we were in Orlando, right? So, but the reason why we were sharing a hotel room was because the hotel was right next to the airport. Also, I don't know. I should probably script this, or I don't even know. This is just mostly candid Troy Perry. I'm sorry I'm not perfect, okay? Shove it. So, I guess we're kind of trying to celebrate a little bit because it's our last day together. And this is going to sound kind of dirty, but I promise it's not. Just wait until the end. We're trying to celebrate a little bit. We're trying to get our hands on some whiskey or some alcohol, maybe a cigarette, who knows. So we hear, I can only speak for myself, and I don't know, I feel like when I was a little kid, this is kind of just me making up for not being able to remember every exact detail, but when I was a little kid, whenever I would fall asleep at night, I would be able to recount every single little interaction that had gone on that day and how I handled it socially, just because I was a nervous wreck and I was trying to figure out how to socialize or be a person. But I don't know what happened at this point in my life. I think I just kind of gave up, and I was whatever happens happens. But I feel like it doesn't quite work for the story. I don't know, maybe I should make up a little bit, but alright. So we hear some clinking of glasses down the hallway, or I don't know, I'm sure y'all stayed in dorms in college. Like, you know how there was that shared common living space? Well, in that shared common living space, but hotel, there was like a festive sort of occasion. That sounds so nerdy. Okay, it was a party. I don't know what to call it. It was a gathering, but there was definitely some noise, you know, a little bit chutzpah or huzzah. I know, I don't really remember, but there was definitely, I knew something was going on. So I sniffed my little nosy wosy. Oh God. Okay, I promise I'm not kidding. I sniffed my nose and I go down the hallway. Jeremy's like, I don't even know, like who initiated it or what, but next thing we know, we're in front of this little crowd. I talked to some guy who seems to be like the ringleader of it all. I'm like, excuse me, sir, what's the occasion for this meeting? I guess my intentions were to schmooze a little bit, see if we had some common ground, and maybe he would offer me a beer as a peace offering. And the fella's like, oh, you don't know? I'm like, no, I don't know. What is the reason for this meeting? And he's like, this is the annual convention for the blind and deaf. And then it hits me. I see the cooler. It's a red little boy just next to the man. I don't even know. Well, why talk to the guy when I could just take it? He's not going to see, or maybe he can. Maybe he's just deaf. No, he talks. No, I pull back with Jeremy or something, and we're just like, dude, there's no way. We run back to the hotel room, just laughing our butts off, or just the irony of the situation was surreal to say the least. So, yeah. Let's see. Phase 2. Or the second story I wanted to talk about. So this would have been before that, actually. My friend Ryan is like, or he gives me a little flyer to go to this show. And I get inside this house. It's like a house show. It's a band. A band is playing in the living room. There is a band in the living room. So I don't know. There's kind of some dancing, right? It's hot in there. It's like 80 degrees. It's mostly all dudes. Turns out it was like a punk show or something. I don't know. The flyer, in retrospect, was pretty suspicious. But the next thing I knew was the lead singer had pulled out a knife. And he was egging people on. Like, oh, you're so edgy. Are you dancers in the crowd who are, like, kind of dancing aggressively? Come be more aggressive up here. Like, I don't know. It's like a power dynamic thing. It made no sense, but I run outside. I text my friend Ryan. I'm like, yo, let's get out of here. And, like, if that wasn't weird enough, the next part was, dude, it's just like how. I guess punk shows attract some pretty far walks of life. Somehow I get to talking to some guy out there, and he's smoking a cigarette. Yeah, we're out on the balcony, and he's like, oh, at one point in my life, or something like, at one point, I had a following in the woods. And I was like, oh. He was like, yeah, there's like 9 people who were following me. And I'm thinking like kind of like Jesus or something. But yeah, it's a huge red flag. I like talk to this guy for like maybe 20 more seconds. Then I pull out the phone again. I text Ryan. And we left. And that was just a crazy little thing. I don't even know, y'all. I guess I'm stoic now. I refuse to express emotion. I'm just a cold, calculated robot. As the way men should be. No, I don't know. But, yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything else kind of nutty that has happened to me. There is something else that happens, but it's not really in line with, I don't know, I wanted this podcast to be about engineering, but very loose. So the way I'm going to try to tie it together with engineering is this. So in engineering, you're like, the guy who's driving the train or whatever. Like, you're in charge of the engine. And who you're controlling is an avatar, more or less. It's an engine. It's you're engineering yourself. So you need to make sure that you choose the right path in life, and feel free to get silly. I would actually recommend getting a little silly, but y'all just can't be signing up for any Colts in the Woods, or can't be getting stabbed. You gotta take control of your engine, yo. So I don't know. Maybe that's me being official, but I don't know. Unofficially, that's my advice. So, sayonara.